Hello, and welcome to Corrected Perception, where I bring my issues to my spirit guides and let them illuminate the solution for me. And today I am dealing with a decision about education for my kids, and my husband and I disagree. After some squabbling, I think we're both coming at this from different priorities, and I'm sitting here calming down, and I know that I want to channel about this, but I was like, what's my question? And I think it has to do with, like, how do I talk to him about it so that we're not just clashing with what's different. So immediately I started hearing, begin with what you agree on. So I would like my spirit guides to just take that thread and talk to me about what else. How can I go deeper into this conversation about this decision on education? So, hello, Kelly. Welcome back to your higher self, where love is your guide. Love is your guide. Don't forget that, Kel. Kind of letting your ego take the reins here because you think it's so important that your kids have this certain education. And remember that love is your guide, and that your relationship to your husband is perhaps more important than your kids' education. Because, there are different hierarchies of priorities. Yes, education's important, but if you're a parent who loves your kids and does your best to help them out, they're going to find their way. And they may or may not even use their education eventually in whatever they do. So this is not an issue that you need to divide your marriage upon. But, that being said, let's consider how you can use this as an opportunity to have a really meaningful conversation with your husband. So we're sort of giving you this way of entering the conversation without being held back by the need to win the argument, right? Because if you do that, he's the enemy, okay? And you're just going to be plotting against him. Whereas if you look at it as an opportunity for the two of you to get to know each other better and to have some insight into the other person, because you both feel so strongly about this that you're both willing to engage in this in an intense level. Let's do that in a meaningful way, in an intimate way, in a way that you get to see a new side of them. You get to go deeper into that aspect of their personality, right? That kind of makes it fun. So 5 minutes ago, before I decided to listen to my higher self on this subject, I was like, what am I going to do? And now, look at this. I'm actually thinking about how it's going to make us closer. It doesn't have to be who wins and who's right. Because really, come on, that's ego, right? It's about how, that's beautiful. Gosh, that's probably enough. But let's just see what else they have to say. So, when you talk to him, going at it with that intention, okay, is huge. That's really 90% of it, because then you're more open to listening, and you're going to be more open to sharing your ideas in a way that you think he'll hear you. And so go ahead and do some research about the people who've succeeded with your method. What are the key strategies and why this education moves you, Kelly, teach him about yourself. Teach him about what you fell in love with when you were learning about this education. And then encourage him, go ahead and look into his side of the story as well. Like, do a little bit of research for him, because he's busy and doesn't really feel like he needs to prove himself to you. So go ahead and look at his strengths, and from his side of the story, what is it he could argue against you? Because you'll learn what he's going to say ahead of time. You might even impress him that you know thoroughly both sides of the story. So do some research, make it organize it out so that when you're talking about it, you yourself feel confident because you have everything organized in your brain in a way that feels like you're solid about it. So have, the same bullet points that you're going to address about each educational style, and organize it in a way that it makes sense chronologically, just talking about it. Begin with big picture, or you can begin with success stories. You can talk about statistics of each culture, because these are two different cultures we're talking about. You can talk about the growth of the educational style that you're discussing, which is obviously Waldorf. I mean, the more you listen to me, I'm talking about it all the time. But, so it's like, we're moving to Germany. Here's the story. We're moving to Germany, and I could put the kids, just the 3 younger ones. He's already agreed to the 2 youngest because they're not really school age yet. But our first grader could go to an American school or a German school. And Waldorf is German, and it'd be public school over there. So I'm like, oh man, no, all of our kids need to do this. But if I can just get one in, fantastic. So the 2 older ones are going to go to the American school because they'd have to speak German at the school, and I'm not going to push that, whole new language on them at advanced levels. So anyways, that's the actual conversation. So talk about the health of the Waldorf community. Like, what does a Waldorf lifestyle look like? Maybe find a video. Talk about the health. He already thinks America's like fantastic. Obviously, we live here. But anyways, that's his argument anyways. So, find those bullet points and compare and contrast both sides, and then highlight the aspects that are really relevant to education. Mind readiness, age readiness, age appropriateness. What are the studies? Look into the studies a little bit. So do your research. And then find the right time to have this conversation. Carve out an actual date night, or, time where you guys can go for a walk, or have some privacy to really talk about it. Or if you need a video or visuals, make sure that you have, be organized and put some thought into it. And the whole time, really, again, what's critical is making sure that your intention is about what is in the good for all. And if the universe is bringing you this obstacle of this person who has probably more say in what happens, because he's the one whose job is bringing us there, and so he has to fill out all the paperwork for everything. His signature has to be on everything, right? Then the universe brought you this obstacle. Don't forget, he's not the enemy. He is participating in a conflict that you agreed to engage in ahead of time, Kel, as a spirit. Before you were born, you chose to have certain conflicts to shape your soul, for your soul to experience the contrast and carve out a new preference. It's kind of like, like your soul is like this block of clay, and everything you experience that is conflicted it shapes you. It carves out a part of the clay that gives you a unique shape. And you, though, you're not clay, you're dynamic, And so you shape and move with those conflicts. Yeah, they give you something, they give you an edge to work with, but you choose how that edge shapes you. So this can be a beautiful thing. Everything in your life can be a beautiful thing if you infuse it with the intelligence of love. Because love diffuses the bite of the ego, the fear and the guilt that the ego is always shrieking about is quieted when you call on love to reinterpret the situation. And that's why we say thank you, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do right now. We are watching you. We are on another dimension that's non-physical, watching the physical, how that happens. If we get it, you don't understand, don't need to. You just need to get the point. And the point is to use love to elevate yourself out of the density that is holding you into a place of low frequency emotions. That's the whole point. So calling on love to face your low density experiences, your fights, your disagreements, your frustrations, your depression and boredom, whatever it is, we are here to put words to the solutions, to meet you where you are in your struggle emotionally. We meet you where you are, and then as you feel into us, because you have the intention to do that, then it's kind of like you're looking into the light, you're looking into the truth, you're looking into love, you're looking into solutions, and then you interpret it, however you do. You put words to it, Kelly. Some people see signs, whatever it is, you start to see it somehow, right? Your sixth sense, your intuition communicates with you, with everybody in different ways. But so keep it up, keep it coming, bring it to us again, and we'd love to chat with you more. So in the meantime, go love your husband. Go be grateful that he stepped into your life with this very challenging task and mission to confront you on many different levels, but also magically stand next to you and work with you and support you and supplement your life in the perfect way that only could be divinely orchestrated. So just be grateful that he's your partner and that he is the knife to your clay in many ways, on many levels, with many different contrasting, conflicting experiences. So enjoy the push and pull because you have love to keep you floating on these rough seas. You do. It will infuse your heart and make you feel safe even when the knife is sharp. Okay? Peace. Namaste.